Welcome everyone to today's episode of Consistency is Key, the power of steady practice in learning English. I'm thrilled to dive into this topic together. Think of consistency as the secret sauce in the recipe for mastering English. It's not about perfection, it's about showing up day after day, right?
Wow, the secret sauce? That's, such a tasty analogy. So, are you saying that if I don't practice every day, it's like baking a cake without following the recipe and ending up with a total disaster?
Exactly. Picture this. When you're baking and you omit a step or don't measure your ingredients, you might end up with something that's, let's say, flat or burnt. The same principle applies to language learning. If you're not consistent, those words and grammar rules can easily slip through your fingers.
Right. So it's all about making a habit of it? But how often should someone practice? Like, some days I totally forget to crack open my book.
Great question. You don't need to spend hours. Even just 15 minutes a day can be a giant step forward. Think of it as watering a plant. If you water it with care, it flourishes over time. But if you neglect it and water sporadically, it risks withering. Setting realistic goals, like learning just 10 new words a week, can really add up.
Wow, okay, so committing to 10 words a week means like, 520 words in a year? That's like mind-blowing. But what if I get just overwhelmed or don't feel like practicing? What can I do then?
Don't worry, it's totally normal. Everyone faces those days. The trick is to mix it up. If it feels like a drag, bring in different methods. Watch an English show for fun, download a language app, or even join a language exchange group. Variety keeps things exciting, kind of like trying different toppings on your pizza instead of always sticking with plain cheese.
Haha, yes, pizza! I can definitely switch things up. But, I gotta ask, I've heard people say they watch English cartoons to learn. Is that actually effective? Aren't they just for kids?
Oh, absolutely. Cartoons can be incredibly effective. Think of them as a fun tool in your learning kit. The language is often simplified, making it accessible, and the visuals reinforce what you're learning. It's like how we learned as kids. We picked up language from what we saw and heard around us. So whether it's cartoons or educational YouTube channels, they can really spice up your learning experience.
That's, actually really interesting. So if I dabble with all these different tools, it'll, keep me engaged? If I happen to miss a day of practice, how do I get back on track?
Great question. First off, don't beat yourself up for missing a day. Just pick up right where you left off. Maybe revisit something you're familiar with, or try something new to reignite your enthusiasm. Think of it like navigating a bumpy road. You just need to steer your course without giving up.
That makes so much sense. It's all about, the journey, right? This sounds really comforting, especially when things get tough. Have you had any personal experiences where you've seen the power of consistency?
Absolutely. I recall a friend who decided to learn English diligently. He committed to picking up 5 new words every single day. After a year, he had over 1,800 new words under his belt. You could see his confidence soar alongside his vocabulary. It's like building a bridge. Each word was a plank, and suddenly he crossed over from being a beginner to quite fluent.
Wow, that's like a major transformation. Breaking it down like that makes it seem so attainable. So, if people celebrate their small victories along the way, that'll keep them motivated?
Exactly! Celebrate those mini wins, whether it's nailing that tricky pronunciation or finally understanding a song's lyrics. It's like putting stickers on a chart. Each achievement is part of that larger journey. And remember, language learning is an ongoing process. There's always something new to discover.
This has been such a fun and eye-opening talk. I can't wait to start putting some of these ideas into my routine. Any last thoughts you'd like to leave with us?
Yes, just remember that consistency is the secret key to progress in mastering English. Establish a routine that feels right for you, stick with it, and enjoy the process. The fruits of your labor will reveal themselves over time.
Oh, that's so encouraging. Thank you so much for sharing this wisdom. I'll definitely keep practicing and growing.
Thank you all for tuning in to today's episode. I hope you're feeling inspired to remain consistent in your English practice. Keep pushing forward.
Yay! Can't wait to get started. Bye, everyone.